See, Jerry, we need a mixer now.
Yeah. Now we need our own DJ.
I gotta find a fader.
We gotta have DJ.
I
Somebody
gotta
to.
get the cams now working now. That's the hard part. That's the bad thing about this. There's no faders, no mixers. All I'm seeing is you now. So I gotta see me. So here we go. There we go. There's my face.
All right, there you
I
go.
gotta
Sorry.
find a mixer now. That's the next tool. But I like the intro. So how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Good to be back at it a little bit. A little sick over the weekend, but I'm doing much better. So welcome everybody to the Chasing Dirt Show on this wonderful Monday and snowing here and at the beach. Kind of an odd thing, but
Is it really?
oh yeah, it's like coming down pretty good. But it won't accumulate.
Well, it is December 8th, and yeah, Chasing Dirt Show. Like, subscribe. You see some value in this. We are gaining followers and attention. I think sponsors are coming. It's crazy. It's good stuff.
Got our own tune now. We're top notch.
Yeah. So coming up, I'll be off next week, so won't have any shows this next week. Friday we didn't get because both Jerry and I were occupied with some other things going on. So this Friday though, Jerry, we've got Dimension Funding coming on board, and they're going to talk about two things. IRS 179. If you're not familiar with that is, that's how you kind of can make some investments in equipment and other things, software, I believe, as well. They'll take a deep dive into that, and that's before the year end is when you get to get that through. So if you've got some excess money your accountant is saying that you need to spend, this may be a mechanism to do such and have it fully written off. Also, they're going to talk about loans for what is that? What is that? Just kind of a cash investment. So if you get a large opportunity and you don't have the working capital, that's what the term is, working capital. They do have some scenarios coming up, and we've bumped into this with Marketplace so far, Jerry, is that we've had a couple of contractors that I can't afford to take that business. So working capital might be a solution we could talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's always good. You're going to scale. You've got to be able to have number one capital, some kind of working capital, then the organizational structure to be able to support it, and then the trust of your team and the buy-in to do it. So, but yeah, working capital is a big deal. It's always, especially when you get a good-sized contract, it's always good to have a month or two to support it, a month or two advance to support it.
Yeah, so they're going to talk about that and 179, and then the ROI for working capital loan if you decide to take that, so you can kind of build it into your strategy, pull those funds as you need them. So that'll be Friday at 11 o'clock East Coast time. Today, though, Jerry, like I think you were mentioning, you take some gigs on the side. Kind of, what are you doing? This fractional right now?
Yeah, I'm doing a fractional fractional COO operations guy for an organization. I'm doing probably about 6 months. We're helping a company get the right people in place, and then possibly replacing me with someone, hopefully from their team. But I've spent a lot of time doing that lately, and also a lot of one-on-one coaching. And I think we were talking about earlier, one of the big issues that people are facing is trying to figure out probably what the best course of action to take this time of year, but also, so the position I'm holding right now is they're growing. They have the capital, didn't have the foundation to be able to coming in doing some just fractional short-term leadership and training. So that's what I'm doing right now.
So let me ask you this: where it's a contract cleaning business, is that what you're doing it for? Or are you doing it for another service? So here's the question: is we are getting pinged a little bit here and there. A lot of conversations about acquisitions. The big guys keep acquiring, but talking to the couple small guys, they've been approached again, and they're not ready for it yet. But it kind of begged the question. Like, you sold your company. What and again, I'll talk about what we're looking to do with acquisitions. But tell me kind of your experience on that and kind of best practices and those that are listening. Even though if you don't want to sell today, I think everybody has a price, right? Somebody knocks on the door and says, "Hey, here's a wad of cash." What do you do?
Yeah, so one of the things that when we were first approached is we were like, we're not ready yet. And that came from the company wasn't ready to be purchased. But at the same time, like the current asking or offering, not going to be enough for us to, they're reinvesting in a new career or new thing, right? Whether that might be organization, another company, or doing something different, or finances able to be put in some kind of savings market to be able to grow, secure retirement for us. So those were personal things that we were looking at. But then as far as the business, we started to decide, okay, what does it look like for us to have a solid business that is worth something as far as cash goes or value. And so we started valuing what areas in our field had to be strong and solid in place for that to happen. The biggest area was financial stability, healthy contracts that are in place for either a year or multi-contracts, and then what is our customer satisfaction rating and how well will it translate from one company to another, and how does that work? And so we started working on these things. The contracts, believe it or not, 2, 3, 4 months in place. If you're doing things in the first place, you should always have for every reoccurring job that you have. And once you have those in place, showing those up each year, I would going into January 1 or July 1, those contracts will re-sign and ready to go. That's the biggest thing. The aspect really into it. In our industry, the best way to do is an asset purchase, where you purchase contracts, equipment, and people for the sake of, hey, we want to tap someone. What's the value of what's the value of some of the items, whether it's vehicles, whether it's equipment, vacuum, and get a vacuum cleaner anywhere. So you can't say, well, yeah, we own 300. Well, there's not a lot of that. And then the systems that you have in place, repeatable systems, procedures, and then policies, all that stuff. If it's pretty much handbook ready, that you can pass it off, and then you as the owner or leadership might stay in place for traditional purposes. Like in our case, pretty much everybody, the team, office staff are still there. They up to everybody in place.
Yeah, I think the takeaway there, I think I got that is you made it. I never thought of it this way. You may not be ready to sell, so that's one thing. Are you ready to sell or not ready to sell? So that's one decision. And the second thing is the business ready to sell, because there's nothing probably worse than being ready to sell but not being the business ready to sell. So
you might be ready to pack it up and play golf, but you got to make sure that there's a equation out there called EBITDA score. What is the value of all these? There's 5 or 6 categories that they rank you in, and then once they rank that value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, and the best obviously get 6 times your value in the company. You can do pretty well for us. I think we want to have the 5, which is really good. Just coming out of so return. But that score, you're thinking about either selling or getting out. Study the EBITDA score really well. See what those benchmarks are for you to be able to have a successful company that benefits you and your family the most.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. And I think we were approached at ISSA by a couple people actually. One was really interesting. I won't mention the name yet because we're in talks with him and his company, but he's been in acquisitions just, for the last few years, but he's looking to get heavy into cleaning company acquisitions. So what we're looking to do with him is through the janitorial store, which is a part of Route, is we are looking to put some modules together, some training modules, and saying, hey, listen, you're, to your point, you're not ready to sell mentally, physically, whatever it may be, but also what do you need to do? Because one of the things he said, key takeaway, is that he dares say that 90% of the businesses he's worked with that were ready to mentally sell, but not, their books weren't in, the business was not ready to be sold, is that they would take it some steps 5 years earlier. Their earnout would have been just significantly more. And I think what we're trying to do is, we're not encouraging anybody to sell, but if they're mentally ready and the company's going to, needs to get physically ready, what can we do to kind of set that stage? So we're looking to have some modules, hopefully on that by Q1 of next year. And I think that's going to be pretty interesting to see what goes on, because as we kind of expand out the exchange, the conversation has been asked, some owners have said, hey, listen, if I'm looking to sell my company because I'm ready, could I put this flag into the system and just kind of not let it be known public, but if someone did approach Route, they could, the exchange, they could pull some kind of report to see what companies are interested in selling and what level of urgency are they willing to sell. So there's some things going on, and again, with right now we have about 11,000 companies in our database, and as you heard, maybe we joke about it, but you and I don't have hair, but we have a little bit of gray. But there's this gray waterfall coming of people who are looking to retire, and the kids aren't, want to take the business over. You've got employees there, but they can't afford to acquire the company. So what does that gray waterfall look like when you get to that point that you just have no options other than sell?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of we're working with professionals that trying to get the next generation involved, and this is a system to put in place. And I think it could be done and done really well. But it's interesting to me how attractive this industry is, how hard it is. The biggest reason it's sustainable, it doesn't waver too much. It's a consistent industry. It's always moving. And so that's one attraction venture capital right now. That's what they hit us up all the time, is because it's a very consistent entity and industry that doesn't waver so much. It might have waves, but it doesn't have tsunami wave.
Yeah. Yeah, and I foresee that the robotics will move more and more into the space, but it's still a very physical activity. Even, I was writing an article based on an article I read, and you talk about a car. As sophisticated as cars are, you still got to take them to the shop. They still break down. There's all these electronics that go along, and they were talking about robotics, and even if robotics in the next 3 years were to get dialed in, it's not like they're going to be, working 100% of the time. You're going to have a lot of maintenance, a lot of repair. I don't care if it's a small floor scrubber or at some point we get to some kind of humanoid type of robotics. These things are going to be breaking down just like cars. And I don't think there's a car garage that you see or you experience that you have to wait is the point. Things break.
Imagine remember the Russian robot they brought out on stage a few weeks ago? And it started walking and just fell over that. I looked at my wife and I'm like, they want that thing.
You got something on, you're hitting on your speaker right there.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Yeah. So yeah, I guess a couple weeks ago the Russians introduced a new robot and the technology, and it came out and it just went haywire. Something happened to it in its program. It just fell over. It's like, yeah, they got a ways to go before they can get it deployed like that.
Yeah. I think I saw Elon Musk. I say the complexity of it is not the walking, not the seeing, not the AI that comes along, but I think it's like from your elbow up is that complexity of all of that. So it's going to be interesting. But no, I think acquisitions is it's happening everywhere. It's, I would dare say that every company, regardless of the size, if you're definitely above 750, you're probably getting at least 2 offers a month to sell your company. So what I think we're going to do on our side with the janitorial store is really kind of put some courses out there to kind of let people think about, hey, this is what you need to do to kind of get the stage set, even though you're mentally not ready.
How do I
go ahead and
run
get
it?
that company. Yeah.
And if you get those practices in place early, and you're just doing repeatable processes, it makes your way more attractive and way easier to transition out and for another company, I always think of it if you decide to want to sell, would it take just one person to come in and operate it, to run it? Is everything running that smoothly where you can just monitor and operate the day to day? Or is everything rest on you? And if you left, everything would fall apart.
That's a key point too, because we were talking to the gentleman who's looking to maybe do something with this on the educational piece. But companies actually get devalued if the owner's too tight with all the customers.
Yeah.
I get it, but it surprised me. I didn't think of that, and I go, wow, because they realize that owner, as soon as he gets that check, he's going to stick around for a year or two to kind of fill out his obligations. But after that, he's gone, and do the customers leave with him? So that's a big bet.
The transition is one where if the current owner's that close as myself, I stayed around and helped transition, but because the guys that ran our company, bought our company and run it now, like-mindedness, like tremendous like-mindedness, and their customer service fit very well with our standards, and ours still there. So there wasn't a little bit of a change for most customers was a name or a person, but the value, the consistency, all that stuff was the thing.
Nice.
It's important you find something.
Good.
So.
Well, that's good. I think that's the topic that we agreed to hit on today. I think it's a good topic. Is there anything else you want to close out with? I guess this is we're approaching Christmas, so it's coming quick. But anything else you can think of?
You haven't started shopping yet. Get on it. So and tell them the guys from the Chasing Dirt Show sent you. So wherever you go, shop.
Yeah, cleaning supplies. So we are on Friday, 11 o'clock East Coast time. We will have the boys from Dimensions Funding to talk about IRS 179, as well as looking at taking some working capital loans where it's required, if it's required, kind of doing some ROI on that to see if it makes sense. And other than that, it is going to be a busy week. And I hope everyone has a good week. And Jerry, you have a good week, and we'll talk Friday.
All right, man. Take care.
Thanks.